Well, we are live, Barbara. Welcome everybody to this episode of PEPTalk, Productive Environment Podcast. We are going to get started here in 1 second. We are super excited. We're coming off a holiday weekend. We were just talking about how nice it was to not have a bunch of things on our agenda this weekend and actually enjoy a Labor Day weekend doing whatever we wanted to do. So hopefully you guys did as well. So welcome to this episode. I'm really excited actually to talk about this because Barbara is going to be sharing a case study about a client that she recently worked with. And so the name of this podcast is a case study from procrastination to planning to progress. And I am looking forward to hearing about this just as much as you guys are. So let me put my glasses on for a quick second so I can see. We just want to welcome you all, and we're looking forward to having Barbara share the case study that shows how someone moved from years of procrastination into consistent planning and real progress. So if there's been a project or anything in your life that you've been procrastinating on, I know I've had several things myself, and this weekend I was able to do one of the projects that I've been putting off, and it felt so good. And I had to tell myself, okay, what would I do if I were a client? What would I tell my client? Because I was really struggling with it, Barbara. I was really struggling with this project. I said, okay, what would I tell a client? And so I went to that five-step productive environment process that starts with the vision. So I said, okay, my vision is, and I went through literally what I would do with a client. So I created a plan. The second thing is the obstacles. I cleared all my obstacles. I put my phone on airplane mode. I didn't check email. I left my TV on like rain and waves instead of any kind of talking. And so I cleared out all my obstacles, and then I committed my resources. I created my plan, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today with what you did with this client. And then I executed my plan. So now the hard part, right? We always say the hardest part is step 5, sustain your success. But I'm aware of it, so I'm working on that. So I don't let that project go back to the way it was. So that was me personally. That was just a small little project that I had been procrastinating on. Got it done this weekend. I'm really excited about it. But Barbara, you have been working with a client for a little while, and I'll let you share all the details because I don't even know all the details. So, but it's a much bigger project and a longer term project, and I'm really excited to hear this conversation. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
I think you forgot one thing.
I'm Andrea Anderson. I did. Hey guys, this is the first day back. All right, cut me some slack. Okay, I am Andrea Anderson, CEO of Productive Environment Institute. I am here in beautiful today, Carolina Beach, North Carolina, and I'm joined by...
I'm Barbara Hemphill, founder of Productive Environment Institute. I think we were both so excited about this topic today because it summarizes what we're all about. I want to say first that this started because of a conversation, a question that I asked, and it's a question I've asked many, many times. And that is, if you left this earth tonight, what regret would you have? And when I asked Carol that, there was a silence. And then she said that I haven't written down and recorded the songs that I've composed for my children and grandchildren, and they want it. And of course, when she said, and they want it, that just got me excited because we work with so many clients who are dealing with things that they need and want to do because they have things their children and grandchildren don't want. So this is like the complete opposite. So it's like, well, that's your mission. I mean, that's really a really easy goal to have. And so we use the 5-step process that Andrea just described. And you should know that this has all been done. It was done with one phone call and all the rest has been text. Very few texts, actually. What's really been amazing, even to me, and how proud I am of Carol, is that there's been very little communication between the two of us, but her progress has been massive. It's just really amazing. I also want to add one more thing that came up from my prayer time this morning. The title that Andrea picked was From Procrastination to Planning to Progress. And I just did a short little video this morning about, am I praying or procrastinating? And so I saw those keys and I thought, because I have been guilty of that. There have been times when I've been sitting in my prayer chair saying, oh, I'm doing a good thing, when really I was procrastinating. So I just had to throw that little thing in because I thought it was so interesting.
I love it.
So the first challenge that Carol had was she's mobile. She's traveling back and forth between different children's families. So she's in different locations. And we had to figure out, so we started about what would the vision, first of all. And the vision was to have the music corded, a chord book, and have it recorded before Christmas. That's where we started. And one of the lessons about this is how specific and measurable it is. And we did that in that first 60. I don't think it was supposed to be a 90-minute call. I don't even think it took us 90 minutes. I think by 60 minutes we were done. We went from that vision, which was very clear and measurable, to what were the obstacles, the fact that she was in different places and she didn't have control over a lot of things. And there were a number of those things, but we looked at all of them. And then what were the resources? Well, she had a keyboard. She'd started a chord book. She had a place that she could do it in her mobile location, and her family was supportive of her. Those are all things that make it easy to move forward. And so with that, it's like, okay, to accomplish this vision, overcoming these obstacles with these resources, here we go. And so the entire time we worked together, started in June, I believe, late June, it was about what's the next action. So in my vernacular, I call that laser coaching. It's like it's unlimited text, but every time there's a text, you get an assignment back. And that assignment is a specific, sometimes very small thing, never a big thing, something that's really small and manageable that you can do. And so there isn't another text opportunity until you finish that, or sometimes things happen. So if there is really something that's happened that's changed it, and a couple of times it did, something happened in the travel, no problem. We can always adjust. That's why step 5 in our process is sustain your success, because very few plans work out the first time. Andrea, you mentioned your project. You thought it would take 2 hours and it took a whole day. Well, sometimes those things happen. So we did that. And I was so excited because sometimes we wouldn't text for a couple of weeks. And there were a couple of times when I didn't hear from her. And so I would just text checking in. That's all, just checking in. And one of the things we have known in PEI, we've seen hundreds of times, is that there are 3 things required to get and stay organized. It's a system, it's accountability, and it's community. And so that was what was available in this, because there was accountability to me and to her children and grandchildren, which is even more important. But she wasn't doing it alone. And how many times, one of the lessons that I have really learned big time in the last, I would say 6 months, maybe even a shorter time than that, is for me, and everybody's different, but for me, doing things in community makes all the difference in the world. I mean, I am just not, I'm a collaborator. So when I have a problem to solve and I'm by myself trying to solve it, I just get stuck. I get overwhelmed. I get depressed. I think, oh, I can't do this. But when I talk to somebody else, and Andrea's experienced this with me hundreds of times, that the minute we start talking, then it's like that collaboration comes out, and it just makes it so much easier. Recently, I just had a new photo shoot taken. And the photographer is fantastic, but she sent me 116 photos.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you've got to pick some. You can't get all of those. I started to do that by myself. It wasn't fun. It was like, I hate looking at myself and I can't figure out which one. Well, that happens to me a lot. And usually I just kind of slog through it or procrastinate about it. Well, my neighbor came over yesterday and I said, Judy, I have these photographs to look through. Would you be interested in looking at? We sat down at the dining room table and we did it together. And it was fun. It was really fun. And it was like, wow, that's why PEI talks all the time about together we are better. We are meant to do things together. Now, obviously, it's a balance of things. Andrea, you've talked about this many times. Like when there's a really big project that you have to work on, you need to go in your hole and you don't want to be bothered and you need a block of time. I can't work as long at one time as you do. I just can't. My ADHD kicks in and maybe I can do 2 hours and then I'm pretty much done. I'm on to something else. And I've also learned to quit criticizing myself for the fact that I can accomplish a lot, even moving around. I can do things, I can accomplish things. And during this home renovation that we've been doing, I've been doing huge amounts of that because I am putting things back in place in the house, but at the same time, I'm doing something to do with work. And it's been amazing how it works out. So the question that we ask people all the time when people say to us, what should I do, is what will you do? And figuring out what you will do. That's what we call the art of organizing. Makes life just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what else? There's so much I can say.
Let me ask you some questions if that's okay. So with Carol, and we're not giving you her last name to protect the innocent. We have several clients named Carol, so it could be anyone. So anyway, with Carol, so when she came to you, she had been, was she coming to you about clutter or anything else, or was it strictly this particular project? Or how did you get to this point to discuss this project of recording?
She was in our group program, in one of our group programs.
Right.
And wasn't doing well because she wasn't focusing on anything. It was like doing this a little bit and then doing this a little bit and feeling, just really feeling overwhelmed. Right. And so that's when we had the conversation, because I saw it. I mean, I saw the overwhelm and I felt it in her. And that's when we had the conversation. And I just said, what's the one thing that you would regret if you left this earth tonight? And that brought it up. And it was like, wow, that's so big and so important. Yeah. And so that got the motivation going.
So you went beyond, with that question, you went beyond any physical clutter. You haven't seen her space. You don't know necessarily what she's dealing with. This was you were able to somehow clear the clutter without physically seeing her, being there physically with her, to get to the point where there was a project that if she left this earth, she would regret having not completed. So you kind of went through you moved everything aside to get to that core thing. So if anybody's listening to this, and maybe you're in our program, our Sword of Success program, or you're not, but there is, you're thinking about being overwhelmed, you may sign up for, or be even watching this video because you may have found us because you're overwhelmed with something. So I encourage you to do that. Cut through, and if you need help, reach out to us. We'll let you know how. But cut through past all the stuff that you're looking at that might be physically overwhelming you right now, and answer that question that Barbara asked. If you were to leave this earth today, what regret would you have? And if there is something that you've been procrastinating on, wanting to do, have a vision for, but you feel like you can't do it until you've cleared the clutter. Because you haven't mentioned anything, Barbara, about clearing any clutter or getting organized in any way. Did you guys talk about that at all?
No, we haven't even talked about it. We have absolutely not talked about it, because it was so clear what this one thing was. So it's like without a vision, the people perish. I mean, the vision was very clear. A chord book. She had one started. Okay. So that was one of her resources, where she had started. She had a keyboard. She had a flat, one of the things we talked about was that in her mobile location, did she have a flat surface where she could work? So we did have that. But it more had to do with just taking that next action and moving forward. And a very important thing was every time she would text me with something that she had done, she would tell me why she was celebrating. Or if she didn't, I would say, how did you celebrate? And sometimes the celebration, if you've been on this podcast, you've heard me say that I sing amen. And she's a musician. So she had, I can't remember the name of the song, but she had some song she loved. So her amen was a different, but it was the same.
I love it.
Line. But then other times, one time she sent a note, said she was going out to get a pedicure because it was a really big accomplishment. She was and then another time she said she was at her brother's and he had a hot tub and she said, I'm going to go out and sit in the hot tub. So it really is important that we celebrate our successes. We're so good at blaming ourselves for what we haven't done. Celebrating our success.
Well, and the connection. I mean, connection is so critical. You talk about community. And in this case, it was just you. The connection was with you in this particular situation with this project. And it's so funny. You just reminded me, Barbara, I had a friend, you've met my friend Wanda. I called her this weekend because I was cleaning out my closet. So I had bagged up 2 bags of clothes and I called her and I made a point. Like you said, Barbara, I need total no distractions, no interruptions, no phone, no email, no text, anything when I'm working on something, even something like that, something physical. So I made a point that I wasn't going to talk to anybody yesterday until I was finished. But I was like, I got to call her and see if she wants. Well, I texted her. I said, do you want these? I've got a couple bags of clothes. Do you or anybody want them? And so she called me and I answered. So we talked for a minute and she was saying what she was going to do yesterday. She said, I think I'm just going to get in the car and just drive to Myrtle Beach, which is like a 2.5 hour, two hour drive. And I was like, why? What are you going to do? And she said, I don't know. I just don't have anything to do. And I just want to get out and just drive. And I said, okay. Well, I said, well, you do that and you enjoy yourself. And I said, I, on the other hand, am decluttering and going through my closet, And then she was like, you know what? I should do that. And she goes, I should do that too. I said, okay, do it. And she said, yeah, she goes, I don't need to drive to Myrtle Beach. That's just going to be gas and money and time. And she said, I've been putting off getting some things out of storage. She goes, I should go get the things out of storage and do that today. And so she totally, just a quick conversation changed her whole day. And she was able to overcome procrastination. So, which was great because then I said, okay, well, update me on what you're doing and I'll update you on what I'm doing. So we exchanged some pictures, and so just having that little tiny connection made a difference, knowing that somebody on the other end was doing something as well. So I think with you, it's just amazing the progress she made, that you never went to her office or her mobile, wherever she might be. You didn't even sit on Zoom with her and direct and anything. But just the connection of a text and a periodic phone call, it sounds like, or was it 100%?
Text.
It was literally
one phone call and all the rest was text.
That is amazing. So that's the power of connection, you guys. Yeah. That is the power of connection. So
while you're talking, I thought of a couple of things that goes back to the art. Well, actually a bunch of things. If you fill out our scorecard, one of the questions at the end of the scorecard is, the one thing that would make the biggest difference in my productivity is. And it's so interesting because I would say, and Andrea, you can back me up and see if this is correct, the majority of the people don't answer that question. Is that true?
So, well, either they don't answer or it's just a one quick word. So they don't really.
One quick word is fine. Yeah, but if they don't answer it, it's the first place I go. Yeah. Because the answer to the question, if I left this earth tonight, what regret would I have? Or the one thing that would make the biggest difference in my productivity, the answer to that in both cases is clutter. It is clutter because we define clutter as anything that prevents you from accomplishing your work and enjoying your life. So if there's something you should do, have to do, or want to do, and you're not doing it, if you're not moving forward in it, that is in fact a form of clutter. The other thing I thought about that was very interesting, and we call each other peanut butter and jelly, and there's such a reason for that, because you talked about how you did your project and how I did mine. And it's exactly the opposite.
Yep.
You did your closet cleaning by focusing completely on the closet. I did my project. I was doing 4 or 5 projects at the same time. I was working on stuff in the garage because we're house renovating. So we just redid the garage. I was doing some podcast kinds of things. I was doing some internet. I was very, very busy on Saturday, I guess it was. I did probably, 10, 12 projects. Some were personal, some were professional, some were on the in the garage, some was on the computer. It was just, and I get my energy from jumping back and forth to those things.
Yeah. And I had to be intentional about not doing that. It's so funny. So y'all are listening. There's no right or wrong. If you, whatever your style is, because I started that. I had 4 or 5 projects I wanted to do. And some of them were just basic, like laundry, dishes, like clean, just normal stuff. And I found when I started bouncing, I realized I'm never going to get this done if I bounce. So I had to intentionally block out everything else and start with the one that I had been really putting off. And then I worked my way back. So it is interesting. There's no right or wrong. I had to put blinders on.
And I've said many times, the reason I'm still in this business after 47 years is because it isn't really about the stuff itself.
Right.
It's about the person, and it's about their connection with their purpose and what they want to do. And the rest of it is just an excuse to deal with that. I think another interesting thing is that there are projects that are one kind of projects. And then you mentioned laundry, for example. So I don't call laundry a project because I think something that you have to do repeatedly is part of your system. And I have to
hold on, before you tell a story, and unless you don't do it repeatedly and it becomes a project. So I had stuff. My laundry was mostly done, but it was spread around places because I needed to clean out my closet to make room. So if you leave your laundry long enough, it becomes a project.
Well, and that's true of that's true of the dishes in the sink or your email, right? Your email if you don't have a system, and we teach how to have a system for your email, and everybody doesn't do it the same. It's not cookie cutter. It's not like saying, this is what you should do. We're helping them figure out what they will do. And as long as we have some people who want to go to inbox 0, we have some people who use their inbox as their to-do list. We have both ends of it. The issue is what feels good for you. But I think, I just have to tell my laundry story because I'm sure it could relate to any kind of routine things that happen. When we moved into this house 29 years ago, I always hated doing laundry. And when we built the house, it had a laundry room. And I was going to do the laundry and I was hating it. And I said to myself, Barbara, you are going to be doing laundry for the rest of your life. It does not make sense that you're going to go through this procrastination. Oh, I'll do it later, whatever. I said, I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to use our 5 steps. So step 1, state your vision. So I said, okay, for me, my vision of laundry is that 95% of the clothes will be clean and put away once a week. That was my vision. So 2 was identify your obstacles. Well, 2, one of them is I don't like doing it. It's boring. Another one was where my laundry room wasn't big enough to fold things in there. And so it's like, okay, where do I fold it? And some places you'd fold it, you kind of have a backache. And it's just not physically easy to do. So then you go to resources. So as soon as you identify your obstacles, you progress starts with the truth, then you go to commit your resources. So first of all, I said, well, it occurred to me, I have a king size bed, and it's one that's kind of up high, which means it's a perfect height to fold clothes. And there's a TV in that room. So part of my obstacle is it's boring. Well, I could tape things on the TV that I didn't have to watch, but just could listen to. so that when I went in to fold the laundry, I could turn that on, listen to that recording, and fold the laundry at the same time. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. So when I went to step 4, design and execute your plan, I decided that my husband is not a social person at all. We would probably never go out both Friday and Saturday night. We might go out one, but we'd never go out both. So my plan is that laundry will be done on either Friday or Saturday night. That has happened, except for when we're on vacation or I'm traveling, it's happened for 29 years. And I don't even think about it anymore. It's just Friday midday, I'll say to Alfred, I'm doing laundry tonight. Make sure everything you want's in the laundry basket. And it's no big deal. I mean, it really, really is no big deal. And sustain your success is just about if it becomes a big deal, then it means there's something wrong. It means your vision's changed. You know, it's just you haven't thought of
it. You didn't create a system. You didn't create a system. Yeah, because like currently I don't have it's just me. You know, I look at y'all and I'm like, how do y'all have children? How do y'all have families? Like just one person and 2 dogs and my laundry piles up. Like, what's wrong with that? But I have not done for those kinds of things what I've done for my business kinds of things. I don't have a specific laundry day. So I will work on that. It
really helps because it takes away the decision making and the procrastinating. It's like, it's like a habit. It is now a habit and it has been for 2 decades and it's not a problem.
So I'll report back to you guys on that. I want to share a quick, I'm working on that. Kathy says, sometimes you can make a dreaded task more enjoyable with music, a lovely beverage, or having a friend there or on the phone with you. And you're absolutely right, Kathy. And I think Barbara, you would agree 100%. So I had to, just to give you my mindset yesterday, I was trying to think, okay, what should I listen to? Like, I didn't want to listen to music. I was like, should I listen to a podcast? Should I listen to something educational? Should I listen? And I realized I'm procrastinating right this very second, trying to figure out what YouTube video I should listen to, or an old coaching video or something. And I just said, you know what? I'm not going to listen to anything. And so I always have rain or waves, like just in the background on my TV. And my bedroom overlooks the Carolina Beach Lake. So I saw people as I was working, people were riding their bikes and walking their dogs. And my dog sat out on the deck while I was working. That was perfect for me. Like, I didn't want to, I didn't need to hear music or anything else. Barbara, you love music. I know you would never work in complete silence or just rain or waves or anything.
No, I don't. It's interesting because I can't, rain or waves distracts me because it reminds me on the farm of when we had a storm. My mother would call up and say, Barbie, be sure and shut the windows. That message comes into me. So mine is instrumental music, no singing, but instrumental music.
Yeah. And if I'm pulling up things on YouTube to listen to, and any music, like it'll be a nice cafe scene or something, and any music starts, I'm like, nope, can't do it. You know, and I have to just say you guys, I hope you're hearing us. We have very opposite things that we do to be able to be focused and productive. And it's okay. It's okay. We've never said what you should do or do it one way or the other. So, but Kathy, back to your point about the lovely beverage. That is important to me. When I sit down at my desk to do work, I have to have, even if I don't even drink it, I sip it, but I have to have something warm. So while I'm trying to drink more water, for my brain, it's warm coffee or almost hot coffee.
That's where we're the same. We're the same.
Okay. Cheers. Cheers. Yes. And the friend on the phone, nope, that would distract me. A friend here, nope, that would totally distract me. So I have to I work very well by myself. And so anyway, let's wrap up. And I'm going to share Cannery's post here as the last thing. I'll share that in just a minute. But Barbara, can we wrap up with what is the status of Carol now? What's the next step? What is success? When is she finished, basically?
Success is finished when she has the chord book for all of her songs and has them all recorded. And as I recall, I'm not a good numbers member, but I know that it will be done by Christmas for sure. And it may be even earlier than that. And she's ahead of schedule in terms of getting it done. And I'm quite confident that she will get it done. And what a big celebration that will be.
Huge celebration. And you guys, you might think there are things that you quote should just be able to do on your own, right? Oh, I should just be able to do that. We all have those things, but if you're not doing them, just having that tiny little spark of a connection with somebody else to trigger you to take that first action is so powerful. So we invite you to connect with us. You can go to lesscluttermorelife.com. If you're not part of our community yet, this is the way to get into our community and get on our communication in our communication scheme. So you can I don't want to say list, but start communicating with us. That is the way to do that. lesscluttermorelife.com. There's a very short training there that kind of gives you an overview of what we teach and our methodology. So I look forward to more updates about Carol, and please tell her how proud we all are of her for this progress. And let me just share this message from all the way from India.
Oh yeah. For those who don't know, Cannery is a part of kind of an adopted family that I have going on in a project. So this is like family joining us. So Cannery and Samila, we're so glad to see you.
Yes, and thank you for the compliment. She said his wife said I look super cool with my glasses. Thank you. We're glad you guys are watching. Okay, guys, so if you have any questions for us or comments, please share them. Make your way over to our YouTube channel. That's the best place to share. If you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, that's fine. You can comment there as well. But we would love for you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't yet. And like this video and share this video. And Barbara, we will come back. Well, we'll be back next Tuesday, but we'll come back in the future with an update on Carol and that book. I'm super excited to hear her continued progress. So thank you for sharing that with everybody today.
Well, she's inspired me as well. So together we are better.
Amen. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.